The Oklahoma City Thunder have been predictably busy this offseason, making moves ahead of the crucial 2026 season. The Thunder were expected to dodge a massive tax bill this offseason that's coming in the form of draft picks, re-signings, trades, and much more. We're going to evaluate each move the team has made this offseason. And to start out with our draft picks, of course, number 12, we took Aday Mara from Michigan with another lottery pick. The Thunder selected what was likely the best player available in the big. He's at 7'3". Mara has huge size. He's very skillful, of course, being one of the more recent Spanish bigs, similar to like Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol. That's what I think of, especially after watching his film. He has that footwork. He has the passing ability. He can have a great touch around the interior as well. The Thunder have a center roster or a front court that I feel like can not be matched with any other team. And we'll, of course, break down one of our re-signings that we had. Number 16, Bennett Stirtz from Iowa. Of course, we had to move up to go ahead and take him. We had some teams probably targeting him, and we have to add three-point shooting, playmaking. He has sneaky athleticism to play some solid defense for us as well. He was probably the best player on a lot of his stops as a college player and huge usage during his time. And so I think he'll fit really, really well as a backup rotational guard with the ability to shoot, dribble, pass, and of course, play some good level of defense. This is probably my favorite draft pick of the three. Otega Oweh from Kentucky, number 41. We saw what Sam Presti was able to do with AJ Mitchell. Kentucky's Oweh has been an impactful college contributor. He's able to add, stingy defense, slashing, which I really love for our team. Oweh still, of course, needs to shoot a little bit more threes for an impactful NBA level contribution, but the Thunder can work on that with him, of course, over the next several months. And I thought it was a great, pick there. Of course, our biggest signing of recent memory, Isaiah Hartenstein at center. Hartenstein has obviously been with us for 2 seasons. We flew out to actually meet him to acquire him from the Knicks, and he's our number one free agency signing as a Thunder organization. He's a championship winning player, and he plays the best defense on Victor Wembanyama across the Western Conference. Of course, we have 2 additional bigs to now throw at Wemby as well, but we declined his option. We re-signed him to a longer 3-year deal that'll probably be around $25 million per year. I think it's a $75 million deal on 3 years. And I think if I had to grade him returning at that price, I feel like that's a A+ signing. You get to retain a guy like Hartenstein that's a hub on the offensive end. He's a great lob threat for J-Dub. And then on top of that, he plays amazing defense. He's a interior beast down there for us. So I thought that was great. Moving over to some of our trades. This is kind of really sad here. Aaron Wiggins, we took him with the number 55 pick in the 2021 NBA draft, and he's been a long time contributor for OKC. He's seen us at our lowest of lows and our highest of highs, and he scored double figures twice in the NBA Finals for the Thunder. He's generally added a scoring punch off the bench over these past several years, and he slowed down and in terms of the course of his career with us. And in 2025, he kind of fell out of the rotation with the addition of Jared McCain. Wiggins has been dealt, of course, to Atlanta. I think he's going to be a great fit there for two second-round picks. I know Thunder fans initially freaking out, but we did save a ton of money between the next player that I'm going to talk about, Isaiah Joe, that kind of fits this conversation. Similarly to Wiggins, Joe has also long added scoring spark off the bench, specifically when he's hot from the three-point line. I mean, there's nothing better than these two guys coming off the bench and delivering for us and saving basketball and doing all the great things that they do. But he was also dealt to an Eastern Conference team, the Detroit Pistons, for 2 second-round picks. The Pistons were a bottom of the barrel team when it comes to three-point shooting. So Joe's going to add the exact punch that they're looking for off the bench. And now that we have McCain, Stirtz, the Thunder are kind of moving forward with players that can make a different impact for us. And this kind of moves towards other, I guess, conversation that I want to have towards Kenrich Williams. We've kind of rescinded his contract for now. We'll see if we can re-sign him depending on how the Lou Dort conversation goes for us. So we have a couple more days, I believe, until July 6th. Currently it's the 1st, to decide what we want to do with Lou Dort's contract. Do we want to, obviously we, picked up his contract. We can either go ahead and, trade him for picks. We can sign him to an extension, of course, which is probably the least likely of the moves. And the third option is just to keep him on the Thunder and run with him this season. He'd be an $80 million. It'd be a luxury tax hit for us, and we'd also enter the second apron. I'm pretty 50-50 between moving him and keeping him. Like, I'm not sure. It's a really tough decision. He's a championship winning guard. He's an undrafted player for us. He brings the culture that you would need. I mean, he is exactly what the Thunder represent. So I wouldn't be upset if we kept him and moved on, let him move on next season and not re-up his contract or extend him. Also, this is really dependent on Cason Wallace. This is probably the last thing that I want to talk about. Cason Wallace is eligible for a contract extension at midnight on July 6th. So depending on how those negotiations are probably going right now is kind of the decision we'll make whether we trade Lou Dort or not. If we don't end up moving Lou Dort, that means the negotiations for an extension with Cason didn't go as planned. Like, he was maybe asking for $30 million per year for his contract. I assume it's going to be closer to $25 million, similar to Hartenstein. I'm just not sure if we're able to afford that, and we'd rather keep Lou Dort for the fact that we could get him on a cheaper deal, maybe closer to 15. Maybe we could convince him to take even less than that. And so price is definitely a factor between both players because they both offer elite all-NBA style defense. And it just, one guy's a little bit younger, so I can see why fans are swaying towards that person versus, the other player had a down season when it comes to the offensive end, but defensively, he's always going to be impactful for us and brings that grit that we need at a cheaper price tag. I want to, add for all the Thunder fans watching. So we'll kind of see. I think it's pretty obvious that we should move off Lou Dort, avoid the second apron, and sign a solid deal with Cason Wallace. The only reason I'm mentioning this is if Cason's asking for a little too much, then we could ride it out with Lou Dort, extend Lou Dort, and trade away Cason this offseason as well. That's a huge possibility. There's, of course, tons of teams that would want his services. I would think we'd try to move him out east, get a couple draft picks, and that'd pretty much be the end of the era with him. So, of course, that's not something that we'd want to see. That's not something Sam Presti would want to see. But if Cason wants too much usage, too much opportunity, too much money, then Lou Dort seems a little bit more of the obvious choice. If Cason's willing to work with us, then we'll, of course, keep him. And, of course, we'll bring back Kenrich Williams on a vet minimum to kind of round out our roster. If all those go according to plan, then Otega Oweh would sign a two-way with us, and that pretty much round out our offseason moves. And I feel like that's a pretty good recap. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Comment what you guys think we'll end up doing, what Sam Presti got planned for us. I do have some predictions that we'll get into maybe for a different video about what we can do during the season or like a mid-season trade. But yeah, see you guys for the next video. Peace out.